It was the end of days. The unthinkable had happened to the greatest band of all time, and this explosive story comes to a whimpering end. This is my series where I'm talking about every single Led Zeppelin album in chronological order, and today it's the end of the road. CODA comes from the Latin word for tale. It's used in music to signify the conclusion of a passage, which has brought a piece to a satisfying end. But there was nothing satisfying about the end of Led Zeppelin, let me tell you. In September 1980, Led Zeppelin were feeling like they were finally getting back on track. They had planned to tour North America, and rehearsals were already underway. September 24th, an assistant went to go pick up John Bonham to bring him to the rehearsal space. And on the way there, they stopped to get breakfast, where John ordered the equivalent of 16 shots of vodka to go with his orange juice. He kept drinking all day long through the rehearsal. What wasn't widely known about John Bonham at the time was that he was also suffering from very severe depression and anxiety. As much as John Bonham loved playing the drums, he loathed the wait time before every single show that they played. The anxiety was penetrating to him, and he self-medicated with whatever he could find. Afterwards, he went back to Page's house, where after midnight, he passed out on the couch and was later moved to a bedroom. He was said to have consumed over 40 shots of vodka throughout that day, and he died in his sleep overnight of pulmonary aspiration. The band were devastated, especially Robert Plant. Led Zeppelin were over. The band were required to complete one more record for their label. They weren't going to be recording anything new, so they went into the archives, got all the leftover songs that were made, and were not included on previous albums. We're Gonna Groove is a live track, cover of a Benny King song, recorded at the Royal Albert Hall in 1970, originally meant to be included on Led Zeppelin 2. Also recorded around the same time was I Can't Quit You Baby and Poor Tom, a song which was meant to be on Zeppelin 3 but had been rejected. Walter's Walk was recorded in 1972 and was originally meant for Houses of the Holy. The second side of the album was more recently recorded songs like Ozone Baby, Darlene, and Wearing and Tearing, which were all intended to be on In Through the Outdoor. Finally, they included Bonzo's Mantra, which was a drum solo that John had recorded in 1976 at a studio in Switzerland, where they had been cutting tracks for Presents. It was their final tribute to the greatest drummer who ever lived. There's no doubt that CODA lacks a constant thread or theme that brings the album together. It was a collection of random stuff. But what's interesting about it is that it somehow still feels like a goodbye album. And maybe the cohesion is in the fact that almost all of these songs were rejects initially. Not quite good enough at the time for the greatest band in the world, but now they seem to tell a story of their own. A coda, if you will.